Hi, this is Dr. Rajeshwar from YR PharmaTube. In the preceding video, we learnt anesthesia and anesthetics. If you did not watch the video, hit the I button on top right of this video to watch it. For the other topics of medicinal chemistry, click on the links given in the description below this video. In this lesson, we shall learn the historical development of local anesthetics. The first local anesthetic, cocaine, was serendipitously discovered to have anesthetic properties in the late 19th century. Cocaine occurs in abundance in the leaves of the coca shrub known as Erythroxylon coca. For centuries, Andrian natives have achieved an alkali extract of these leaves for its stimulatory and euphoric actions. Cocaine was first isolated in 1960 by Albert Niemann. Like many chemists of that era, he tasted his newly isolated compound cocaine and noted that it caused a numbing effect on the tongue. Sigmund Freud studied cocaine's physiological actions, and Karl Koller introduced cocaine into medical practice in 1884 as a topical anesthetic for ophthalmological surgery. Shortly thereafter, Halsted popularized its use in infiltration and conduction block anesthesia. Although the numbing properties of cocaine were recognized for centuries, one might consider September 15, 1884 as the birth of local anesthesia. Based on work performed by Karl Koller, cocaine's numbing effect on the cornea, that is, in the eye, was demonstrated before the Ophthalmological Congress in Heidelberg, ushering in the era of surgical local anesthesia. Unfortunately, with widespread use came recognition of cocaine's significant central nervous system and cardiac toxicity, which, along with its addiction potential, tempered enthusiasm for this application. As cocaine was known to be a benzoic acid ester, the search for alternative local anesthetics focused on this class of compounds, resulting in the identification of benzocaine. However, benzocaine proved to have limited utility due to its marked hydrophobicity and was thus relegated to topical anesthesia, a use for which it still finds limited application in current clinical practice. The first useful injectable local anesthetic, procaine, was introduced shortly thereafter by Einhorn, and its structure has served as the template for the development of the most commonly used modern local anesthetics. The three basic structural elements of these local anesthetics can be appreciated by a review in which an aromatic ring conferring lipophilicity, an ionizable tertiary amine conferring hydrophobicity, and an intermediate chain connecting these via an ester or amide linkage. One of the procaine's limitations was its short duration of action. This drawback of procaine was overcome with the introduction of tetracaine in 1928. Unfortunately, tetracaine demonstrated significant toxicity when employed for high volume peripheral blocks, ultimately reducing its common usage to spinal anesthesia. Both procaine and tetracaine shared another drawback, that is, their ester linkage conferred instability, and particularly in the case of procaine, the free aromatic acid released during ester hydrolysis of the parent compound was believed to be the source of frequent allergic reactions. Lofgren and Lundquist circumvented the problem of instability with the introduction of lidocaine in 1948. Lidocaine was the first in a series of amino-amide local anesthetics that would come to dominate the second half of the 20th century. Lidocaine had a more favorable duration of action than procaine and less systemic toxicity than tetracaine. To this day, it remains one of the most versatile and widely used anesthetics. Nonetheless, some applications required more prolonged block than that afforded by lidocaine, a pharmacological void that was filled with the introduction of bupivacaine, a more lipophilic and more potent anesthetic. Unfortunately, bupivacaine was found to have greater propensity for significant effects on cardiac conduction and function, which at times proved lethal. Recognition of this potential for cardiac toxicity led to changes in anesthetic practice, and significant toxicity became sufficiently rare for it to remain a widely used anesthetic for every regional technique in modern clinical practice. Nonetheless, this inherent cardiotoxicity would drive developmental work, leading to the introduction of two recent additions to the anesthetic armamentarium. They are levobupivacaine and ropivacaine. The levobupivacaine is the S- enantiomer of bupivacaine, which has less affinity for cardiac sodium channels than its R+ counterpart. Ropivacaine, another S- enantiomer, shares this reduced affinity for cardiac sodium channels while being slightly less potent than bupivacaine or levobupivacaine. This is the list of references followed for the lesson. That's all in this video, the historical development of local anesthetics. In the next lesson, we will learn the chemistry and classification of local anesthetics. Till then, never stop learning and never stop watching my videos. Thank you for watching this video.